Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Mary Payton with All About STEM Radio. I come to you every Wednesday here on the Blue Stream. And if you're listening to this show, please hit the share button because we have a fabulous guest this week. Okay, no, she's not STEM, but she is a entrepreneur that I have met and have known for a very long time. And I am so excited about what she is doing and what she is doing with her life. And surprisingly, the joke we have, I call her a momature, like a entrepreneur mom, a mom entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. So I think that is the sweetest thing to be. So today, I'd like to introduce to you Miss Delisa Woods Ozoilo. Hello, Delisa.
Hi.
How are you?
I am doing very well. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. What about now? Can you hear me?
I hear you perfectly. They changed my mic, so I was talking to the wrong side of the mic, but that's okay.
Okay. So what I want to do, I want to see if I can hear you now without the headphones.
Okay. We'll give that a chance.
Okay. Hello?
Okay. Oh, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Perfect.
I love you. All right. Anyway. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about Delisa. But first, don't forget, if you are here in the Metroplex, this Saturday is the 10th Annual Shorty Awards. Fishbowl has been in existence for 10 years. So we're totally excited about it. Now, last year I won an award. I don't know if I'll win one this year, but if I don't, I am still happy to be on the air because this is a blessing. So today, Miss Delisa Woods Ozoilo, she is a international entrepreneur. She owns Sapphire Lynne Publishing, Sapphire Lynne Photography, and Châle Gardens Event Center in Atlanta. So, Delisa, would you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Okay. Hey, everybody. I am so excited to be on here. Just Mary, I commend you for just having a show like this.
Thank you.
All about STEM. I mean, kudos to what you're doing. So I'm very thankful to be a part of the show. Again, this is my second time, but with a totally different, totally different information. Before I was a school counselor, I wrote my first book, which was Showing Kindness All Around the World. And now I have book number 2 out. So where do you want me to start?
Okay. I have an outline. I have to follow something. I don't know who's calling me, but I can't answer them right now. Oops. Sorry. All right. So tell me a little bit about your journey. How did you get from just being a normal school counselor to writing a book to being a, full-time mom, full-time wife, full-time entrepreneur?
Okay. Well, it started years ago. I truly believe in vision board. Now, I really want to start there.
Really?
So yes, a couple of, I used to do it all the time, vision boards, but I took it a step further. So I want to say maybe 3 or 4 years ago, we just started, me and a couple of friends, we put action behind it because everyone has a vision board, right? The first of the year. And okay, this is, what we want to do. This is what we want to accomplish. And then by December, nothing. So what we decided to do was just put action steps behind there and come up with weekly goals.
Okay, so I like that.
That's how, what was that?
I said, I like that. The weekly goals.
And that's how the first book, Showing Kindness All Around the World, was established because I've always wanted, to be a children's book author. And I was like, I want to write a book, but then, of course, never had the time. And I moved to, Dubai. I was over there for 5 years. So I did have time to, research, figure out what I want to write. And it just happened from there. So each year I would come up with, a new goal. I try to work in threes. So I would have three goals at the beginning of the year and try to achieve those. So of course, one of those goals were to get married and have a baby, and I achieved that goal. So I just had my baby girl, my Chloe.
She's
So
beautiful.
on Sunday, she will be 8 months. So again, it was all about just putting that positivity in the atmosphere, having weekly goals, an accountability partner, and not giving up. There were times where I procrastinated and didn't feel like writing, didn't feel like, doing anything toward any business.
Okay.
And so, but I just kept going, picked myself back up, because I was, as a school counselor, writing books as well, and, starting different businesses. Now, I know you spoke of Sapphire Lynne, but just to, I guess, give a little background, like Sapphire Lynne is like my brand. So Sapphire is my birthstone and Lynne is my middle name. So it's basically, who I am as a person, as an individual, positivity. And so I want to reflect that in my business with Sapphire Lynne Books and with Sapphire Lynne, my apparel company.
Okay. Now, before we go into the company just a little bit, you have Sapphire Lynne Books.
Yes.
Now, how hard was it for you to get published in the Middle East?
Well, it was actually easy because I self-published. So I still went through Amazon. Well, then it was CreateSpace. So I went through CreateSpace and did everything. If you just have to have the internet connection, Amazon was not blocked. So I was able to do everything through Amazon as to self-publish my books.
Okay. Outstanding. Why did you select kindness as your area?
Okay, well, as a school counselor, and I've been a school counselor for 17 years, and so, took a break or 2 or 3, years. Every time a student would come into the office, they would want to talk and be upset, but it was always because someone else did something to them, that either, was mean or they were bullying. And so even while in America, counseling in America, it was the same thing. When I went abroad, it was the same thing. So I was just thinking one day, and I love the beach, by the way. So I was at the beach thinking, what could my first book be about? And so the first thing that popped in my mind was kindness. And of course, 50 million drafts and having different people read it and reread it, because you want things to be perfect.
Yes.
That's how that came about. Just the kids coming in, the kids coming in wanting to know, how can I empower them? So speaking of empowerment, at my last school in Dubai, I dealt with middle school students. So it was more about empowering them to make better choices. And that's where the second book came about, Treasure Box of Choices. It is elementary level, K through 5, but again, it was all about, hey, how can you make a better choice?
Okay. I like that. And I noticed, I've seen you on pictures where you're up in the classroom talking to the kids and stuff like that. And, that was a great place to be able to do that. Yeah. Now, let's go into your brand, Sapphire Lynne. You have under that, you have your books, you have a clothing line, and you have your photography?
Yes.
Okay, so we've talked about the books. Let's talk about the clothing.
Okay, so what I did, I started off, of course, broad with everyone, with adults, with teenagers, with children. But the Sapphire Lynne apparel line is now just for children. And it's just empowering them, just different messages.
I love the sayings on your shirts.
Them to be kind, confident, and solution focused.
Okay.
So, I just have different sayings like, you're amazing. don't give up, just
Mm-hmm.
different things on the onesies or t-shirts for kids to empower them to either make good choices, be confident, believe in themselves. So I really want to push that a little more as well. When I do book talks or go to libraries or go into the schools, I'm going to have that apparel with me. So if a student or even a teacher,
Yes,
who
yes.
has a child would like to purchase it, just as a reminder,
Mm-hmm.
hey, you can be empowered to do these things.
That is so sweet. That's so awesome. Now, you know, how did you come up with the apparel line? You said that you wanted to empower
Mhm.
kids, but being an entrepreneur, how did you figure out? How do I go out? How do I get that market? How do I set up a website for that? Give me a little bit of that, but don't give me all your secrets now.
No, and people who know me I tell it all.
I know you do.
There's
You told
enough
me.
business, out there, but YouTube is my bestie. You hear me? YouTube and Google.
Yes.
Anything I want to learn, first I'm on YouTube because a lot of people want to give information and they give it away for free,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And of course, some people have classes, but all I wanted to know was how do I start an apparel line? And I put it in YouTube and I Googled it, and that's how I got started.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have the inventory. So there are two ways I could have done it. I could have had the inventory on hand
Yes.
and, got someone to do it and had them in my house. But remember, I was overseas.
Yes.
Excuse me. So I knew I couldn't do that option. The other option that I did do was called print on demand.
Mm-hmm.
So I went through Printful, and there are so many, but I went through Printful, and what you do is you order the shirt. Printful prints it because they have everything, and
Yes.
then Printful also delivers it.
Oh.
So once I put the design up there and, the website. So I created my own website.
Mm-hmm.
How did I do it? YouTube. So, how do you create a website? And that's exactly what I put in the search box in YouTube. And so I use WordPress. And so
Okay.
I just followed the instructions, created my own WooCommerce website, and just went from there.
I mean,
I created
your
I
websites are
created all
beautiful.
of my, thank you. I created all of my websites.
They're gorgeous.
Thank
Gorgeous,
you.
and they have the right stuff on them. I'm still
Mhm.
tweaking mine because I'm learning how to be a entrepreneur. But
Mhm.
hopefully I'm doing the right thing. Everybody said I am, and if I mess up,
You are.
they tell me. They tell me because I'm gonna call people and say, "Did you see that? Did I put that on there right?" But anyway, I digress.
No, and the thing, and you just said something key.
What was that?
What if you mess up? Well, that's the thing with like entrepreneurship or
Yes.
figuring out things. It's okay to mess up. It's okay if something doesn't work. You just
Mm-hmm.
start all over
Mm-hmm.
or you tweak it. You figure out, okay, how can you do this better?
Yes.
I can honestly say I did not push my Sapphire Lynne apparel line as much as I should. Does that mean it was a failure? Absolutely not. That just means I need to put more focus in
Yeah.
that area. I need to market. I need to talk about it. I need to sell. I need to have samples.
Yeah. Yeah.
My whole thing along too with the entrepreneur journey is if starting to just do something and then you figure it out along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never, thought about, writing a book or how do you do it? I didn't
Yep.
know how. I figured it out. I had my online mentors who did the
Yes.
same thing and I did it too, or I did it better, or I tweaked it, how I wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm.
So that was key. Don't give up, keep going and press forward.
And Larry Curry says you are doing the right things. Thank you, Larry.
Thanks.
He is a great entrepreneur also.
Oh, good.
But you are doing so well, and it doesn't seem like you're getting overwhelmed or anything like that. But your Sapphire land is going well. But now that you're back in the United States, you had started this while you were in the Middle East. Your Châle, I mean not
Right.
Châle.
So
Tell us a little bit about that.
okay, so it's my sister and I's business,
Uh-huh.
and so she's like the main person who oversees
And
everything.
she's sweet
I
as a
know
button,
we
y'all.
started it together
Mm-hmm.
back in 2012, so she was very instrumental in getting things started, getting things organized. Business was her background, and in sales, I came along, of course, with my personality and my network and as a photographer, with the network I had, and we just made it happen. So it's Châle Gardens. It's a wedding and event center. Like I said, we started it back in 2012. And again, it was, what in the world do we do?
Now
There you have
I didn't know you had
YouTube.
it that long.
Yeah, it has been that long. I know. And then I left 2 years after, because I was only going to be gone for 2 years, remember?
Yes.
Um, but that's another story. I stayed a little longer.
She got
But
married, y'all.
so back in 2012, and I mean, instrumental people
Yes.
helping me along the way. Like I said, as a photographer, I already had a network in the wedding and event industry.
Mm-hmm.
And so people were gracious enough to help us with, our open house. I was part of the National Association of Women-Owned Small Business, and
Mm-hmm.
the president came. She was at our grand opening. Like, it was amazing. So when I left, in 2014, my sister, she did amazing. She, got the business, continued on with the
Yes, yes.
business, made some wonderful changes to the venue. We had different people come in to, just help enhance it. So now that I'm back in the role of being the venue manager and, just answering phone calls, giving tours. And so that's, what I'm working on now, and going to different networking events
Yes,
because
yes.
I don't have my 9 to 5. I can go to a power breakfast. I can talk about Châle Gardens. I can talk about, Sapphire Lynne. So because I have the time,
And that's great.
that's one of the things, I guess, one of the pros, and with entrepreneurship, you do have the time because you make your own schedule.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned your sister. Now, a
Hmm.
lot of people go into business with friends and family, and it doesn't work out. And I've met your sisters and your mom and your dad and all of
Right.
them, and your husband and Chloe. Uh,
Hmm.
how important is it to have a good support group for being an
It's
entrepreneur out there by yourself?
it's very important because you would want someone to bounce off, your ideas off of. You
Mm-hmm.
need someone just as an accountability partner. I'm not perfect by any means, so you just need that support system to help you, to help you along the way. So
Mm-hmm.
family is definitely important. Excuse me, going into business, sometimes you have to separate.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're not my sister, our roles are going to be different.
Yeah.
Sometimes like we definitely have to work together, and that is key. And you have to trust,
Mm-hmm.
so trusting one another, working well together, and just, knowing that you both have the business best interest at heart
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
key.
Because y'all have done this a long time from a
Mhm.
distance. And you were in Dubai and off and on. She was in California.
Right.
And
Off and on.
you've been able to keep this place afloat. And ladies and gentlemen, if you see this place, it is beautiful. What's the website for Châle so they can look it up?
Okay, it's www.chalegardens.com, Chale gardens.com.
This is a beautiful place. And with you
Oh,
being
thank
gone,
you.
that place could have just, fall into destruction, but you had family and friends, and you hired the right people to be there for you. Now, you spoke a little bit about networking. Now, because you have your books and your apparel line on one hand, which can kind of go together, you have the Châle Gardens and your photography on the other hand, which kind of marry each other. What type of networking, let's say for the Châle Gardens, would you go to? What kind of things would you go to get business or to meet people?
Well, it honestly, any networking event, it doesn't even have to be geared toward the wedding or event industry. If it's just a regular like entrepreneur networking, because everybody is a potential client. Everybody knows someone who's getting married, who's having a birthday party, a baby shower. So it can actually be any networking event. I like the ones where it's more interactive and you can introduce yourself. You can, talk a little bit about your business. So I draw more to those type of networking events.
Okay. I like that. Dr. Linda says, I want to thank you because I chose my first illustration team after looking at your book. Emerald Systems. Yeah, she used them to illustrate her first book, which is beautiful.
It is. Hi,
Dr. Linda. and Jacqueline said, hi there. I call her Ladybug. She is another female entrepreneur. She makes soaps and lotions that I have totally fallen in love with because I get a lot of stuff from her. But, I like the fact of the networking and things like that. Now, on your Facebook pages, you have 3. I think you have one for Sapphire, Lynne photography, one for your apparel, and one for Châle Gardens. Am I right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Just select one you don't mind talking about. What type of things should people portray on their Facebook pages to get that audience, or especially when somebody's considering you for, let's say, an event?
Well, one of the things, and I'll talk about Sapphire Lynne books, is you want to show them your personality. You want to show them what you're doing. And before I go on, a disclaimer, from Facebook, in which I am going to get back to it because you live and you learn. I stopped Facebook and only dealt with Instagram, but now I'm just going to continue to do both. So again, you figure out, this isn't working. What do you need to do? So I'm going to be back on Facebook, but it's just, showing the audience what you're doing with the book. So whenever I have a reading or going into the schools, I try to videotape it or, get someone to take pictures and I display that. So I'm just not an author, that's selling books. No, I'm getting into those classrooms. I'm going to the libraries, and different things that are, coming down the pipe that I plan on doing. I want to display that on social media.
Because you are doing wonderful things, or you're out there, you're doing things, you're not just sitting in the background and saying, I've started a business and I hope somebody finds me. Is that right?
That is right, and that does not work. If it worked like that, everybody would be in business. I wish I could say, okay, I wrote a book, everybody, here it is. But unfortunately, it's not like that. So, but when they see you, doing stuff with whatever product, it could be, like you said, someone on there was selling soaps. If that person's selling soaps, well, I would like to know or look on social media, man, how do you make a soap? What if I want to do that? Do you have tutorials? What type of soaps? So just giving the audience more details as to what you're doing in your business. And I think that helps.
Okay. I like that. So, letting the audience know what you're doing, let people know what you're doing. You have to be out there for people to actually see you. And
Yes.
what about your learning process? I know you talked about YouTube and going to different events and
Mhm.
Googling things. Excuse me. Your continuing education as being an entrepreneur, workshops and
Um,
stuff like that.
I try to do more online workshops just because of time, and
Yeah.
I'm doing, so much.
And a new
But
baby.
there's and right, my 8-month-old baby, who keeps me busy, but my mom helps out
I
tremendously
know.
too. So that's a huge help. So I'm not, looking at you guys like, okay, y'all, let's, what are we gonna talk about? But it's more so just, and I know I'm gonna digress, just balancing
Yes.
everything, all just balancing everything together,
Mm-hmm.
putting a priority, what's important, what should I do next, helps me. And I'm sorry, Mary, I digress. So repeat your question again.
I forgot it.
Me too. And we both digress, so we gotta stay on topic.
I know. But yeah, we've known each other so long, but
Too funny.
you have helped me in the business world and a whole lot of other people because
Hmm.
I became a female entrepreneur by accident.
Oh.
Starting the show for me was just something to do. People were sick of me
Hmm.
talking about STEM all the time and where I travel and what I've seen and what I've done. And Dr. Linda told me, you need to do a show. I'm like,
Oh.
okay. I did a show, but I didn't know what to do with it. And then a few years
Hmm.
later, she said, you need to do a book. Okay, I did a book. And then when I came back, I found out I was in business. And I had to go through that learning process, writing a
Hmm.
business plan, looking at what my market is, and so on and so forth. And you've got a couple of markets there, but I mean, you can kind of put them in together because
Right.
with the event center with Châle, it's not just for weddings, it's not just for parties.
Right.
It's an event center and people can come and I mean the place is beautiful, y'all.
Thank you,
It's
Mary.
totally gorgeous, and
And it's not only like it's for retreats,
yep.
conferences. So, we're going to do more with that on my Chalet Gardens dream board. And I did it like years ago,
Hmm.
but I was saying, well, before Tyler Perry built his amazing studio, like Tyler Perry will be at our venue to record. So I'm still putting that out there. But that's just something, that I do. So I do have like a vision board for each, business.
Hmm.
But Mary, I do remember now it was about courses and
Yes,
workshops.
yes, that's what it
Um,
was.
and it was, so I do try to go to a more hands-on
Yes,
workshop because I like to sit there, have my paper and pen ready, and listening to the experts. But I'll do that. I'll do online. I have a lot of online mentors,
yes.
that I log into, like their social media, their website, see what they're doing, talking about, I believe in affirmations and,
Hmm.
having a positive mindset.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly, listening to that. If I ever get, overwhelmed, I stop. I listen to something positive to get me back on track.
Hmm. I totally understand because it's one thing that I've been told by a few of my friends, Dr. Linda,
Mhm.
that have said, okay, you have to stay with your brand,
Mhm.
especially on social media, especially when you're out in the public. Now, my brand is STEM. I have a
Right.
STEM radio show, I have STEM books. My brand is STEM. And
Mhm.
that's what I love. That's what I do. So you won't really see me get into. Now, I love cars, but you won't
Mhm.
see me post a lot of stuff about cars. But I love
Right.
cars. But yet and still, they say stay with your brand. Now, you can all, veer off and let people see that you're normal, like you're at an
Mhm.
event or something, but stay with your brand and branding. How important is
Right.
that?
It is very important, but Mary, honestly, I agree with that to a certain extent as
Okay.
well. But also try out different things. I know
Yeah.
you're saying STEM is my brand, and you're sticking to that, and that's totally fine. However, if you were interested in doing something else,
Mm-hmm.
my philosophy is just do it and see what
Yep.
happens.
Yep.
What's the best that can happen if you do? That doesn't mean you're going to, disregard STEM. You're
Oh
just
yeah.
adding something else.
Mm-hmm.
You can be multi-talented.
Yep.
Because one thing, like if I'm doing like the books and photography, I know you can't do everything all at once,
True.
but try it and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. I mean, I do try other things, but I don't always post them. But you're right. Um, some of the other things make me happy. Going
Mhm.
out to different events or going out and walking in nature or teaching a kid how to build something. That totally makes me happy. And yeah, I probably need to portray that a little more or a lot more. And I like
Mhm.
learning. I like going out. So I'm gonna
And
have
I
to.
love learning. I
Hmm.
love learning and doing. If there's something I want to figure out, I love just trying to figure it out and just doing it.
Oh yeah, I'm typing something real quick.
No, and I had to move for my.
What
Okay.
happened? I can mess with you, Delisa. I can't do it with you today. But anyway, um, I got to look at my notes. All right. Now that you are back in Georgia, because she's calling us
Mhm.
from Atlanta, hot Atlanta, y'all.
Yes.
Um, have you gone out and got supporters or sponsors for any of your projects?
Not yet.
Not
No.
yet.
No.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm starting to work on a little bit is learning how to get sponsors and supporters because so many of my guests are from not here in the Dallas Fort Worth area, which is wonderful.
Uh-huh.
Quite a few of my guests aren't even from the United States, and that's wonderful.
Right.
And that's what I'm starting to notice that people are now coming on board to have me work with them or working with me.
Oh,
So,
that's good.
but my goal right now is, and I guess I need to make a vision board because I've never made a vision board.
Oh, you
Is
have no.
I've
Okay, you
never
should.
made a vision board. So,
I swear by them. I mean, some people don't, but
mhm.
for me, I swear by a vision board because it just keeps me accountable.
Okay, what is a vision board? I know that's a dumb question because everybody out there know what one is except me.
No, and it's different for everyone. So my
Mhm.
version of the vision board would be what goals do I want to achieve the same year. So if I do it in January or if I do it the year before, what do I want to achieve within a year?
Okay.
For me, that's my version of a vision board. And
Okay.
it's for me, it's yearly. Now, if I don't achieve those goals within that year, I'll just add them on, to next year's.
And I like what you said that you had to transition from just making the vision board to looking at that vision board and making timelines for certain things to
Yeah.
be done. So I like that. So I guess I have to get with my niece because she lives by a vision board.
Mm.
But it's her and her young friends. I've been invited. I'm like, what am I gonna do with a vision board? I'm retired, but I guess I'm not. I guess I'm not retired. Retired. So, but as a entrepreneur, how is it working for yourself?
I love it. Now, remember, this is because it's been 17 years. Right after college, I went right into the workforce. I was a
Yeah.
counselor since 2001.
Mhm.
So I've been working on somebody else's clock for 17 years, 9 to 5, 8 to 4, 7 to 3.
Okay.
So this year, and it's only been like a couple of months, I am on cloud 9. Like, this is the best. I feel like it's an extended summer. because as
Really?
an educator, we get the summers off. This is just an extended summer, and I like it. However, it is a lot of work. So
Okay.
you work more and you work harder for yourself. So if I'm doing stuff for Châle, but I still got to do stuff for my brand, Sapphire and Lynne.
Mm-hmm.
People are still calling me for photos. So I have a wedding Friday.
Oh,
So it's just keeping everything um again, prioritizing what's important. I'm not going to burn myself out,
okay. That was
but
the question.
I love the fact that I'm doing this for me,
Uh-huh.
and not for someone else. So I'm
Okay.
I'm building my own brand, my own companies for me.
Okay. Okay. I like that. Now, normally I do this earlier in the show, but ladies and gentlemen, this is all about STEM radio. I am talking with Miss Delisa Woods Ozoilo, who is a entrepreneur. I call her an international entrepreneur because she, a big part of her entrepreneurship started in Dubai. She has two brands. One is Sapphire Lynne, which she has publications, apparel, and photography, and an event center called Châle Gardens in Atlanta, Georgia. And I am so, so, so proud of her. Now, before we go any further, would you tell my guest what's your social media for Sapphire Lynne and for Châle Gardens?
Okay, so Châle Gardens, social media for Instagram and Facebook is Châle Gardens, Chale Gardens. And for Sapphire, well, what you can do is just on my IG,
Yes.
Delisa Woods,
Hmm.
and you can see all of the businesses under there under my Instagram,
I like
and I'm on
that.
Facebook. So because that's one of the talking about those courses, one course I took about Instagram or social media, you want to make sure everything that you're doing or all of your businesses that you list it. So if
Uh-huh.
someone like is looking or trying to reach me or contact me for my personal Facebook page, you can't reach me, but you can see all of my different businesses on there.
Okay, okay.
And
I
that's
like
the
that.
same for Instagram as well.
Hmm.
Because you have to request me for my personal, but
Yes.
for my business, it is definitely public.
I like that. That makes sense.
Hmm
So I'm sitting here learning things
No,
continuously from you.
I'll go on because I'm in a lot of groups too. Oh, and we
Okay.
didn't discuss groups.
Yeah,
Groups
let's
are
discuss
important
that.
as well. Facebook groups, you get a lot of information, a lot of people that you can bounce your ideas off of
Okay.
as well. And so if I'm trying to find information or, this person said something profound and I go to their Facebook page, but nothing.
Mhm.
So I don't want to request you as a friend because I don't know you, but I do want to know like what's your website, what's your other Instagram account, or what's your
Mhm.
Facebook page for your business, and it's not on their personal page.
Mhm. Mhm. And I
So
I like that because I go to look for different things like in STEM, in publications and books, in broadcasting, um, for myself, and even in business. And I've joined several groups that have totally helped me
yes.
to learn to get myself out there,
hmm
to get information from, and that has been a huge help.
It has.
Being on Facebook, being on Instagram, and I
hmm
have to tell you this because me and social media. Social media is totally new to my generation because I'm a baby boomer. I
Right.
am really, really learning the use of a good hashtag and why.
Oh, that is important.
Because depending on what I post would depend on what hashtags I use.
hmm
And then another thing is planning you have some posts that you just, okay, I'm here, I'm going to do it, post it. But then
hmm
you have to plan your post.
You do.
Yeah, I
Now
learned
I use Hootsuite. Who do you use?
I don't use Hootsuite. I just
Okay.
use I'm old school. I use a calendar. and I use Ripple, and
Okay.
because on Ripple and on Facebook you can schedule your post, so I
I
can sit
see.
down and schedule everything, and then things come up, on different days and stuff like
Okay.
that. So no, I've heard of Hootsuite, but I haven't used that yet, and I use Mailchimp for
Okay.
my and I started that 2 months ago, and I really like Mailchimp. I use that for my newsletter, and
Mm-hmm.
that's been going really really well. I've been shocked at how people have really been looking forward for that.
And see, and that's something that is another goal, but down the line, maybe a couple of months to use a MailChimp. But it's so important because
Yeah.
someone once said, if, social media no longer exists, then what? So
Oh
you
yeah.
have to, email will always be around. Well,
Yeah.
who knows? But you need to get those email addresses. So what you're doing is definitely
Yeah.
key.
And I'm learning something every week,
Mm-hmm.
I swear. Now, I know this has gone very fast. We've got 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Tres minutes.
Oh
That's my
my.
Spanish. Um, I would like for you to take the time to thank the people who are helping, because I know your sister has been totally instrumental. I'm gonna instill her. I need a little sister. I got a big sister that I love so much, that has been like the love of my life, but I don't have a
Mhm.
little sister since I'm the baby. But anyway, I'd like for you to remind people who you are, y'all. This is Delisa Woods Ozoilo, and give words of wisdom to anyone who's out there in entrepreneurship.
Okay. So Jess, there's so many people to thank, but I definitely want to thank just everyone who has supported me, the transition coming, from Dubai back to America. Jess, thank you. From my mom, my husband, my sisters, my family, everybody. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, listeners, too, for, hopping on, my fans, my Facebook friends. Thanks, guys, for hearing what I have to say, about this journey that I'm super excited about. But words of wisdom, I have a quote,
Okay.
and the quote is the only limits you have are the limits you believe. So, everyone who's listening, dream big, dream bigger, dream as much as you can, because the only person that's stopping you is you. Fear does not exist. Um, Keep at it. If you wanted to start a business, start it. If you want to write a book, write it.
I love it.
I know a lot of people talk about the dash from when you're born and when you're, going to, eventually die. What are you doing within your dash? Like, what are you doing to make an impact in the world? What do you want to do? Are you creating the life you want to live? And so that's my 2 cents. I'm a strong believer, and whatever you want to do, just do it. Who cares? Dust yourself off. If it doesn't work, start all over again. But just do something if that's what you want to do.
I love that. I love that. Well, Delise, I know you just got home, and I know you want to go and cuddle up with your little 8-month-old Chloe. So, I
Do.
know. And tell Jude and your mom and Chloe and everybody I said hello. And thank you, thank you, thank you for
No,
coming
thank you,
on to the show.
Mary.
And I'm going to post the website for Sapphire Lynne and for Châle Gardens, so people can know where they are, because people listen to me from all over. And
Okay.
so, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Miss Delisa Woods on All About STEM Radio. She is a entrepreneur in publishing. She owns Châle Gardens, which is this huge event center. And, y'all keep her in mind for your events. And
Mhm.
also, she has children's books on
Yes.
kindness. So thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. And until next week, um, I'll be back with another great episode of All About STEM Radio. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you again, Mary.
Bye, Delisa.
The 2019 Fishbowl Radio Network Internet Radio host.